Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Alistair Ramsey and I'm Head of Research at Fastmarkets. I have the pleasure of leading us through the Middle East in the context of the global steel market. During this session, I'll be reviewing the results of our crowdsourced Middle East Iron and Steel survey, which I do hope you will contribute to, in order to provide you with critical insight into the perspectives and priorities of your industry peers, to allow you to benchmark during these unprecedented times. I'll be addressing questions like, how has demand for steel raw materials in the Middle East shifted throughout 2020? According to the World Steel Association, crude steel production, which is underlying or real demand for steelmaking raw materials, fell through the first 9 months of the year for the first time since 2015. Then as now, the decline was not so pronounced. Output fell just over 3% year on year through September, and actually the rate of decline has been steadily improving with each new month, showing that the world appears to be on a recovery path. Output in September was almost 3% higher than a year ago. Activity in the Middle East does not always reflect global patterns, and perhaps this year is no exception. We look forward to finding out. And what have been the biggest challenges for GCC steel markets this year? In this question, we're looking to see how COVID-19 has directly challenged regional steel markets. Has the impact on demand, for example, been greater than the impact on supply? Or has the availability of steel raw materials, such as iron ore, been so constrained that meeting demand, however big, is the real challenge in this industry? And in a market known for its free trade, have surplus suppliers across the world been targeting the Middle East ever more intensely as their demand at home dries up? And what about when do you think the Middle East steel market will finally recover? It's been one of the fastest growing steel markets over the long term, but the performance in recent years has been more depressed. So a recovery is certainly due, but the question is when and how. To qualify answers for the medium term, we define this period as that between 2 and 5 years from now, or 2022 to 2024. What do you think priorities for businesses in the steel supply chain will be for 2021? In some ways, this question follows on from our inquiry about the key challenges this year, but it also links to the outlook, and whether we return to pre-COVID business as usual or something different, which may seem better or worse today. If the priorities are moving more to the flexibility of contracts, we can infer something about price expectations. In, for example, the US, market participants wonder whether the impact of the Biden administration would encourage more spot price and less fixed price business in future. And last but not least, do you think the price of steel will be higher, lower, or around the same next year? Clearly, the projected pace of recovery will determine to some extent the market's expectations here. But by way of context, here's a quick guide to how prices have performed over recent years. Surprising as it may sound, prices so far in November are generally higher than they were a year ago for long products, flat products, and semis, and that's across domestic, export, or import market trades. Over recent years, as you may recall, it's generally been a different story, as both domestic and international prices have lost momentum since Middle East Iron and Steel 2017. So can the signs of an admittedly modest market rebound this year ignite a regional and global market recovery? We'll be sure to update you at the very beginning of Middle East Iron and Steel 2020 and give you opportunities to change your mind at the end once you've had a chance to hear from all our fabulous speakers.
Don't miss this session or any of the other great sessions at Middle East Iron and Steel 2020. Buy your virtual pass today.